where we will talk about how you can, what we call it, turbocharge search API with our new software as a service, Visitor Voice free. So with us today, we have the maintainer of Search API, who helped us build this integration part. And there is me, Pontus, and I'm the product lead of Visitor's Voice. Yeah, so I will give a quick introduction to our service, and then Thomas will demonstrate how to set up Search API Solar with Visitor's Voice. And then I'll talk a little bit about what's going to happen next, because we just recently launched the free version, and we also have a premium version coming up. And yeah, if there are any questions, we will of course answer to these ones. Yeah, so well, you can find more about us. You can read more about us on our blog, visitvoice.com/blog, and you will find our presentations on SlideShare. And you can of course follow us on Twitter. Let's see here if I can find this one. Yeah, Twitter and Facebook. So we've been working with enterprise search since 2004, provided different services. And one thing is that search is often treated like a stepchild. It often is something that the clients realize a bit late into the project that, oh yeah, we need search as well. And then the consultants implement it, but there is no real deep thought behind it quite often. And we've been working with different technologies, and discovering Search API was really nice because it really gives you options that we believe other CMS vendors, they could only dream about it. It gives you a lot of flexibility, and it's very dynamic. But technology is only the beginning, and what we learned from our projects is that one key factor for a successful search project is actually that after it's launched, you analyze the search statistics, and you frequently try to improve the site search results. That's a very important factor for success. So this is the reason we have built Visitor's Voice, because we believe that this is actually solving this problem. Okay, so I'll hand her over to you, Thomas, for the demonstration of this service.
Okay, we see here our Drupal demo site of for Visitor's Voice, and now I'll quickly show you how to set up Search API on such a site, and then afterwards how to add the Visitor's Voice integration, which is really simple, but yeah, I'll still go over the steps. So first off, of course, we need to enable the necessary modules. And these are, of course, the Search API itself, which has a dependency on the entity API, so that needs to be enabled too. And we also enable some of these extension modules. Source search or some other module providing a backend is needed because because Search API doesn't work without a backend, which because that's not included in Search API by default. And Facet API is needed for adding facets to searches. current search block module comes with the Facet API and provides just an easy way to add blocks summarizing the current search on the site. So it's always makes sense to enable that too, because it adds some nice functionality without really any work. Now that we have enabled the Search API module, we first need to add a server. A server is the means of having a storage mechanism for the searchable items. So some technology that really stores the search terms and is able to later retrieve them. For this, we use Solr in this example. We installed the Solr search module. Now we need to configure the Solr server. For that, we in this example use hosted Apache Solr as the provider, but any other one is fine too. Or you can install Solr locally, which is described in the module's install.txt file, if you're interested in that. So we see we created the server and it could be reached. Everything is working fine. So now we need to create an index. An index in the Search API context is a configuration of a set of search items which you want to index and how they should be indexed. In our case, we want to index nodes, the primary type of content on Drupal sites, and of course, therefore, the one which you usually want to search. So this is just generic information about how to what is searched, and the server implements the how of searching. So we need to associate each index with a server for searches on this index to work. And in this case, we just pick the search server demo search we just created, and index items immediately is a nice option to make new results appear right away without waiting for cron, which usually should be enabled on at least on smaller sites. For larger sites, it could become a performance problem, so you'd have to evaluate more closely there. Now we come to the field selection page, where you have all the fields associated with a node available for indexing, and you can very much in detail configure what should be indexed and how. So we have the title, the creation date, and much other information. And we can also add related fields. For example, if you add the author here, we get all the authors fields as well here and can index them and later search through them or filter by them, just as if they were fields directly on the node. And what we also have to add here is the main body text, because it's also a related field. We have to add it, otherwise we cannot index the body of nodes, which of course you usually want to do. Now we just select some of these fields as indexed. You can also select the type here, which determines how the field is parsed and processed by the server. Most of these are pretty self-explanatory. The only major differences between full text and string fields. String is just kind of a token or a name, some string data that always stays the same and only makes sense as a whole. Whereas full text content is split into individual words, and you can also find the words inside this text. So for any text freely entered by a user, usually we want to use full text. For example, we want to find individual words in the title, therefore we index that as full text. But the content type is always either article or page or book or any other content type, but always just a name. So this makes only sense as a string. And the boost, relevant for full text fields, determines how relevant, how important the field is. So if we select a higher number here, that means that the results in the title, words found in the title, are more important than words found in other places. Which of course makes sense because usually the title tells you most about an item. Now we just index a few other fields. Like tags or basically just the fields which we either want to search through as full text or which we want to use for filtering or for sorting later. And of course the body, as said. Now the last stage of the setup is just to add some additional processors or data alterations to the index, which can further customize the indexing and search workflow. In our case, we enable the node access data alteration, which is an easy way of providing node access for searches on a site. Otherwise, you'd have to take care of that yourself. And so by just enabling that, you have protection of any inaccessible nodes for users, especially if you take care to also set index items immediately for the index, because otherwise there could be some leaks in certain cases. And also here are processors which allow you to influence how searches behave, but most of these don't really make sense for searches with a Solr server because Solr already takes care of those. So ignoring the case is handled by Solr, etc. The only one that makes sense for Solr, because Solr doesn't know which fields contain HTML, is the HTML filter. So we enable that for the HTML field main body text. We want to index the title attribute too, and this field also doesn't work with Solr. So we leave that empty too. We save the configuration and we thereby already have a working setup for searches. Now we just need to wait for the items to be indexed or just take care of this ourselves. And now that the items are completely indexed, we can search through them. For that we use a search view. So nearly everyone will probably have already used the views module at one point, and the search API has a seamless integration with that module. So for creating a search, as long as you have enabled the search views module, you can just add a view as normally, show demo search index here. So the name that you earlier chose for your index. You can also select search index here, which can be a bit confusing because if you select search index, that will only show you a listing of your search indexes, which is usually not what you want. So you want to pick the name of your search index because then you will see the items indexed there. The rest we can leave more or less as is. Rendered entities, a quick way of showing the search results if you don't want to customize further. And here we see the view, and already we have a listing of all the nodes that are indexed, which are all nodes on the page. But for now, this is of course a bit boring. We want to search, and of course also we don't want to show the full content. We only want to show the teasers. So we changed it here in the row style settings. Then we have to add a filter for having a search box too, which of course is integral to a search page. For that we can use the full text search filter, or really we have to do that because that's the only one which gives you the expected behavior for full text searches. We expose the filter, we set it to required so that a search page without the keywords won't show anything, otherwise it will show all the indexed nodes, which is usually not what you want. We set the meaningful label, and the other settings can really stay as they are. Especially use as should always stay at search keys if you aren't exactly sure what you're doing. You can also restrict the search fields, but in our case we want to use just all of them. And one potential improvement is just using a cleaner identifier for the filter. But that's already it. Now we just save here. And now when we go to the front page of the demo site, we have here the search box, which contains just HTML, an HTML form. Sadly, Views has an annoying restriction which prevents a normal Views block to work in this scenario. But just adding HTML with the correct form values works as well here. And if we now search for something, we get redirected to this view showing the teasers of the results that match. And as you can see, since we chose a higher boost for the title, those results that have search in the title are ranked first. And only later the other ones here, for example. So this is already a basic search which works fine, and also since it's using views can of course easily be enhanced and configured further. However, one other very easy improvement you can make is by adding facets to the page. So we also want to do that quickly. We go to the facets settings page. This is added by the search facets module, which comes bundled with the search API. And here you have all the indexed fields in the index available as facets. So you can add date created, content type. Full text fields usually don't make that much sense, but they also can be used, for example, for tag clouds, where you show what other people searched, what terms often occur in your content, and tags are usually good to facet by. So now that we've enabled those, we just need to, we've got new blocks to place, and by just placing these in the somewhere on the page, we add automatic facets to pages where a search occurs. So we just add all of these to the right sidebar, and also the current search block, which the current search blocks module provides. We rearrange those a bit. And save. And now when we go back to the search and refresh, we get a list of facet blocks here. So, and the current search block, which summarizes how many items were found, what was searched, and if we now add a filter, for example, for only showing content from May, then it will also get displayed in the current search block. You can also filter by content type or by the tags, and any other fields that you have indexed. This is also a very nice and easy way to add a value to your searches and functionality. Okay, so now on to the Visitors Voice part of the demonstration, which, as I said, is really easy to set up. You just need to install a module on the site. The Visitors Voice module can be found on Drupal on drupal.org as Visitors Voice. And when you've downloaded it, just enable it under the search group. When doing that, of course, you should already have created a free account on the visitorsvoice.com site for you, and then you just have to enter the connection data from there. Now we just go to the configuration page for the Visitors Voice module. Here we see this box for importing the access key. You can also select the search index to use if you have more than one. But we don't, so we just need the access key, which you can see here. This is of course just a demo account, so the access key is pretty basic. So we copy that, go back to the configuration page, and input it here. And now we can test the authentication, see that it was successful, and that means we can now use Visitors Voice on our site. So how does it work? We can again go to our search, and now we see the first results are search-related presentations, search-related links, and if we now execute the same search through the Visitors Voice dashboard, we see the exact same results listed here. So search-related presentations, search-related links, but we are free to reorder them as we see fit. For example, if we think that the most relevant result would be this one because it shows the most basic things about search, we can just put this on top, save the changes. This would also lead to the search we have defined, and if you now refresh the search page, we see this has now been put as the first result, like like the order we configured in the Visitors Voice dashboard. And just to explain it quickly, the URL for this you can visit the search here. A functionality is placed here. So if you just input the search and replacing placing this string where the keys would be in the URL, then this will automatically work for you. So, but apart from reordering, we also have the functionality of removing results. So if we think that usually someone who searches for search doesn't want to see the about page, we can just remove that here as well. And now if we go to the search page, we see here the about result. But if we refresh, the about result is gone, and we have, well, the next result here, of course. And the last functionality here, of course, is adding also pages. So if you have a page that is relevant for the search keyword, which has something or much to do with the search keyword, but for some reason fails to mention search on the page itself, you can just add it here. by first searching for the page, and then if it is found, you can just edit, and it will appear as the first result. But of course, you can then just reorder that as well if it's not the most relevant results, but it should still be displayed. And if you then save the changes, and again refresh, you see here is the fifth result. This item I just added. So that's and one other functionality here is for exploring more about the search results. You can also use the facets you previously defined for your search and just show the articles, for example, in the order that they will appear in the search, but without being able to reorder them because this would be too confusing if other tests are applied. So this concludes the short presentation of the functionality, and yeah, back to Pontus.
Yes, thank you, Thomas. So I have just a couple of short questions. So if you uninstall the module, what happens with the changes you made?
The changes when the module is uninstalled at the moment are kept until the next reindex, because it's with the current Drupal uninstallation method, it's not really possible to do it any other way. So yeah, for the moment the reordering and the added items would remain until you reindex the index.
Yeah. And also it's possible to reset the changes for one search term.
Oh yeah. I forgot to show
then
that.
you can, but it's just you click reset and then it would go back to the original version right before you did anything.
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah. Cool. So, well, I wanted to say also that this this is the free version of Visitor's Voice, and it is free for anyone to use as it is, any organization or company. And we are about also to launch a premium version. And what we will do is that we will add search statistics. So you can actually track the search behavior of your users. And the Visitor's Voice will help you identify which search terms do you have problems with, and also show what the users has done. I mean, where did they click in the hit list, if they clicked, or what other pages did they visit, or which search refinements did they do, etc. So the idea is to enable a data-driven workflow, so it would be easier for editors. They don't have to guess anymore. They can actually see what they should do. And we've been working like this with our current clients for 1 or 2 years. And then they haven't used Visitor's Voice, of course, but we have been helping them out in order to see if it actually makes a difference when you really analyze the search statistics, and when you actually reorder the search result page based on what people look after. And we have found that it could actually improve the click-through rate in the search result page with up to 30%. So this actually means that by doing this, you could help a lot more people find what they're looking for. And with Visitor Voice, we believe it will be very, very easy as well. So yeah, this premium version we will launch next quarter, hopefully in the middle, but sometime during next quarter. And I also want to mention that when Thomas and the maintenance crew of Search API, when they ported it to Drupal 8, of course we will follow. So Visitor Voice will be available for Drupal 8 when it's ready. And yeah, we hope as many as possible would like to try out our service. And for those that have a lot of users and data, we think the premium version will be actually worth looking into. So with this, I want to thank you, Thomas, for your help with this presentation, and well, wish everybody welcome to contact us. Okay, so thank you.